The June 27th edition of SmackDown brought another significant development in the slow-burning tension between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. For weeks, Alexa has been trying to get Charlotte to consider the idea of teaming up, but Charlotte has repeatedly brushed her off, especially with the insistence that she doesn't need or want any help. That's exactly how this latest interaction started too, with Charlotte reminding Alexa that she never asked for her help with Chelsea Green and that they are not friends, nor will they ever be. But this time, Alexa came prepared with a new angle. Alexa made it crystal clear, she's not trying to be Charlotte's friend anymore. This isn't about friendship, loyalty, or emotions. Instead, Bliss reframed the entire proposal. She told Charlotte that it would simply be beneficial if they were on the same page, not as friends, but as allies of convenience. A tactical partnership with no personal attachment. Alexa didn't push any harder. She simply asked Charlotte to think about it and then walked away. And while Charlotte didn't say yes, she also didn't say no, and that's a shift worth noting. This subtle pivot from Alexa is smart. When she originally pitched the idea back in May, she leaned into the narrative that they were longtime friends, and that their history would make for a strong bond inside the ring. Charlotte rejected that concept outright. She's never really been one for emotional bonds in WWE, and she made it clear she had no interest in rekindling any friendship with Alexa. So Alexa adapted. She stripped out the friendship angle entirely and reframed the pitch as pure strategy. The change in presentation seems to have caught Charlotte's attention. Unlike the previous weeks where she immediately shut down Alexa's suggestions, this time she appeared to consider it. That hesitation is the biggest positive development so far in this story. Charlotte may not be jumping into Alexa's arms just yet, but the door is open. And that's more than Alexa had a few weeks ago. This proposal is the most realistic one Charlotte has received. It's grounded in logic. She doesn't have to like Alexa. She doesn't have to talk to her outside the arena. But inside the ring, having someone who can step in and cover your blind spots, that's something even someone as proud and independent as Charlotte can't ignore. And it's especially appealing when you consider Charlotte's career history. Charlotte has almost always been portrayed as the dominant, lone wolf figure. She's had alliances here and there, like the brief time with the Four Horsewomen or the PCB days with Paige and Becky Lynch nearly a decade ago, but none of those partnerships lasted, and most didn't feel like true alliances anyway. Since then, Charlotte's journey has been about walking alone, winning alone, and defending her throne by herself. That has worked, but it's also left her vulnerable. Especially now, with the women's roster becoming more chaotic and unpredictable. Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, is the opposite. Her entire WWE career has been built around alliances and relationships. Whether it was her successful tag team runs with Nikki Cross, her complex dynamic with Bray Wyatt during the Fiend era, or even past associations with Nia Jax and Mickie James, Alexa knows how to build and benefit from partnerships. She's held multiple tag titles, played the mastermind role in faction-like pairings, and understands how to thrive in chaotic environments. She's built for situations like this. That's what makes her such a compelling person to teach Charlotte about the value of having someone in your corner. Alexa isn't trying to change Charlotte's personality or ask her to be someone she's not. She's offering a path forward that still allows Charlotte to be Charlotte, just with a little extra firepower at her side. The fact that WWE has invested so much screen time into this over the last 2 months means they clearly see something in this story. And realistically, they wouldn't be giving it this much attention if the end result was just another Charlotte rejection. The writing is on the wall, Charlotte will eventually say yes. It might not be this week, or even next, but it's coming. And when she does, it'll open up a new chapter for her character, one where we see her try to connect with someone else in a meaningful way. For someone who's spent so much of her career as an island, that's a big shift. And it's something fans haven't seen from her in a very long time. There's also increasing speculation that this partnership could evolve into something larger than just Bliss and Flair. With Damage Control coming to an abrupt end, the WWE Women's division is noticeably lacking in factions. Outside of a few loosely tied tag teams in Chelsea Green's circle, there's no real group presence. So if Alexa can get Charlotte to buy into this two-woman alliance, she might try to expand it. That expansion could go a few different ways. Maybe they add another veteran like Natalya or Tamina, someone who knows the ropes and could benefit from being around two of the biggest stars in the division. Or maybe they bring in a younger star, someone who could grow under their guidance. Either way, there's potential for this to become WWE's next major women's faction. And the star power would be undeniable. It's no surprise that fans are paying close attention to every segment between these two. You're talking about two of the most decorated and recognized stars in modern women's wrestling. Their chemistry is interesting. Their philosophies are different. And seeing them navigate this space, deciding whether to work together or stay solo, adds a lot of depth to their characters. It's one of the more grounded and nuanced women's storylines WWE has attempted in a while. Still, there's always the risk of dragging things out too long. WWE has a habit of letting stories fizzle when they don't move the needle fast enough. Fans want to see the payoff, but the longer WWE holds back, the more patience will be tested. Hopefully, the final yes from Charlotte doesn't take too long, because once that happens, things can really heat up. And once they are aligned, there are plenty of variables to watch. How will the fans react? Charlotte has been getting booed consistently throughout 2025. Could aligning with the popular Alexa Bliss shift the crowd reaction? Will fans warm up to Charlotte, or will they turn on Alexa for trying to help someone they've grown tired of? There's also the question of personality clashes. Alexa has always had a chaotic, manipulative side, especially when she gets emotionally involved in something. Could some of that start rubbing off on Charlotte? And what about the reverse? Could Charlotte's often selfish, win-at-all-costs mentality influence Alexa in a more negative direction? That dynamic is what could keep this story fresh well beyond the initial partnership. They don't have to be best friends. They don't even have to fully trust each other. But watching them try to coexist, with both of their instincts and tendencies constantly threatening to derail things, that's where the intrigue lies. And while all this builds up in the tag team or alliance direction, Alexa Bliss also continues to generate headlines outside of the Charlotte story. One major piece of trending news is her rumored involvement in a future Women's Money in the Bank match, with many fans believing she'll make a surprise appearance. Alexa has a strong history with the Money in the Bank briefcase. She won it in 2018 and cashed in on the same night. So her being inserted into the picture again would make sense, especially as WWE looks to boost star power in the women's ladder match. There's also talk that Alexa is quietly being positioned for a major singles push again. She's been back from maternity leave for several months now, and her performance level hasn't missed a beat. WWE has reportedly been pleased with her promo work and in-ring timing since her return, which could explain the slow build in this current storyline. They're saving her for something big. Some fans have even speculated that Alexa could be in line for a surprise title run later in 2025, possibly as a heel. That would tie in perfectly with the current Charlotte story. What starts as an alliance of convenience could later evolve into betrayal or domination, especially if a title gets involved. No matter which way things go, Alexa Bliss is once again becoming a central figure in the women's division. Whether it's teaming with Charlotte, climbing the ladder at Money in the Bank, or pushing toward a championship opportunity, her presence is being felt again, and that's a great sign for fans of long-term storytelling. So while we wait for Charlotte's inevitable answer, the bigger picture is beginning to take shape. Alexa Bliss is playing the long game. And if Charlotte finally buys in, WWE's women's division could be headed into one of its most compelling alliances in years. Keep your eyes on it. Things are just getting started.